Hi, and thanks for tuning in to the Path 11 podcast. I am your host, April Hanna. At the Path 11 podcast, we are here trying to deliver leading-edge research on consciousness, healing, and metaphysics. And just like you, we are trying to answer the big questions about life. Who are we? Why are we here? And what is our purpose? We hope by listening to our podcast, it will make each day you live on Earth a little easier to understand. And now for today's podcast. We have a return guest today. We are speaking to Raúl Estévez. You might remember him, and he is episode 108. And last time when he was on the show, we were talking about angels, and he had mentioned that he was working on an angel card deck at that time, and we said we would love to have him back on once the card deck was ready to be out, and they are out. So his new angel card deck is called Guiding Star of Life, and based on his daily angel card readings, Raúl Estévez 44 card deck, guidance card, and guidebook allows you to find inspiration using a uniquely designed 4-point guiding star of life. The color-coded quadrant within the star contains 4 leading cards of love, purpose, faith, and abundance. They are followed by 10 individual cards within each quadrant, allowing you to use the whole deck or subdivide it into quadrants to concentrate on those areas. So this deck actually gives you 5 decks in one. So I'm excited to hear about it. I got a chance to see the beautiful cards, and welcome back, Raúl.
Thank you so much, April, for having me. It's a pleasure to be back.
Yeah, so the card deck is done. You were very kind of low key. You didn't want to give too much away on it, and I was chomping at the
bit. I hope hopefully it met your expectations.
Yes. The cards are beautiful. Your illustrator just did an amazing job. So why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about this 5-in-1 deck?
Okay, I've actually came up with a concept, and the illustrator that you mentioned, Sonia Daru, and I have been working together for many years in a professional environment, and then we became friends. And she's been doing the illustrations for my books, My Angels Connections and My Little Angels Talk to Me. And I said to Sonia, I would like to do a deck of cards that you and I are going to be proud for the rest of our lives. I'm not one that I want to do 20 deck of cards, because you're actually losing touch on what you're actually trying to produce. I want to do just the one deck that it will be kind of like, if you wish, our legacy, and that's it, the one deck. But I said, Sonia, it needs to have a point of difference. And I look at all the different decks that are around, and nobody actually created a deck that it will give you the opportunity to have 5 decks in one. So I thought to myself, okay, this is my niche in the market, if you wish, to be able to produce something that people will see it from a different point of view and a different light, and it will give them not only value for the money, but also value in a spiritual way. And Guiding Star of Life was actually born, and I was truly guided by the angels to create that division, that you can use them as a whole deck, or you can concentrate on the areas of love, purpose, faith, and abundance. And that's truly when I do readings for people, where the major comments come through that people would like to know more about those areas in their lives and what's actually happening and coming up. And Sonia is an amazing illustrator, but also one thing that she has, and she does really well, is that she tunes in with me at such a high level that I could actually talk to her what the concept in my mind is. And she goes away, and when she illustrated the front cover, I said to her, that's exactly it. That's what I envisage. And when you look at the front cover, you will see the star, and within the star, you will see 11 stars. So the 44 deck is divided into the 4 quadrants, and within each quadrant has the number 11. The cards were actually launched in 2018, which was quite important to me, because 2018 in numerology adds up to number 11. Number 11 is a master number in numerology, but in angelic terms, it actually means opening up the floodgates of a dam, if you wish, to get rid of the old and then to be able to have room and welcome in the new. So to me, the launching of Guidance Star of Life, it was very important that it happened in 2018 because it's kind of like letting go but then receiving. And to be quite honest, April is being amazing. Even people that they're on television in the UK on Sky News, they bought the cars and they were using them, and they were actually sending me links saying, here you are, and I'm using your cars and I love them. And I thought, oh my goodness, because I don't know these people, and they're getting in touch with me, and like them, many, many others from around the world, saying how much it actually touched them. But Sonia and I put a lot of hard work together to come up with a concept that it makes sense. And when people go into the booklet, not only every booklet gets a little dedication from Sonia and I inside, signed by us, but also the booklet becomes very interactive, because any other deck of cards that I ever bought, that I ever had, you tend to put the booklet outside. And what I wanted to do was, at the end of each chapter, if you wish, each quadrant, that you put your own thoughts about each card. So we gave a section that it says love, and just blank lines underneath for you to look at the love card and see, how does it make you feel? What do you see? What do you notice? What are your feelings, your intuition, your thoughts? And in essence, I'm giving you a chance to actually write your own deck. So it becomes 6 decks in one, if you wish, because it becomes truly yours.
Oh, I love that. And with each of the different sections, or the card decks, there are 11 cards per each section.
Correct.
So can you tell the listeners a little bit about the deck of abundance, faith, love, and purpose?
Okay, beautiful. What we actually created as well, that it comes with the deck, is an extra card that we actually call the guidance card. And it's the idea that all the colors for each quadrant are color-coded. So you get the love that is pink, the purpose that is blue, the faith that is purple, and the abundance that is yellow. Each quadrant is attached to an angelic flower. Yes? So if we talk about abundance, the angelic flower attached to abundance is the yellow lily. So if you go through the cards in abundance, for example, I will give you one that is adventure. You will see the message, but you will also be in touch with the yellow lily that is in the giving you that angelic message of abundance. If we go to love, yes, we actually see that the colors are all in pink, yes? And the flower that I actually selected, that is an angelic message, but it could be pink, sometimes it could be a little bit red, intense red, but mostly this flower is white with a center stem in yellow. It's actually the color lily, because the color lily brings an angelic message of I love you. And then if we go to purpose, yes, for purpose, I've actually selected a beautiful Australian wildflower, and that wildflower is called the Waratah. It happens to be the symbol of the state of New South Wales in Australia, and it's a flower that is extremely unique, extremely strong, because the flower is actually born out of a tree, so the stem is really strong. The flower itself is strong, but it has, when you look at it, it's so delicate and it's so ruby red, but it just denotes uniqueness. That flower stands out amongst all the other flowers, but it doesn't compete. It's a flower that it mixes, but it says, you know what, I'm beautiful in my own way. And that's what I put that flower there. And for faith, the flower that is actually attached to that quadrant is the azalea. And the azalea is a flower that it brings an angelic message of believing in yourself, have faith in you. And within all of that, you will see butterflies, because butterflies is a symbol of growth, is a symbol of transformation. For people that they could have read my first book, My Angel's Connections, that book actually talks about my affinity with butterflies. And it's, in short, before my mother passed away, gave me a message that it says every time that you see a butterfly, it will bring a beautiful message from me to you, and mainly it will say that I love you. And every moment in my life that it was extremely significant, white butterflies were there. And white because her name in Spanish was Blanca, and that actually means white. So butterflies are very prominent throughout the cards. In every card that you will see, it has a butterfly that is just show what the card actually means. If you were to look at even these moments, find the courage to shine your inner light. But the butterfly is only halfway colored. The rest is kind of like empty. And the idea is for you to color in. In order to have courage, you need to be able to show your true colors, but also you need to be able to realize that you don't need to be totally complete, because as you're moving forward within your life with courage, you are picking up that brush and you're coloring in, but you're coloring in with that courage and that purpose that you say, you know what, I'm going to shine bright, regardless of what other people may think of me.
Wow, so much thought and care has gone into this. I love it. And I love hearing more about, why these certain pictures are on the cards. And how did this process actually begin for you? I'd like to hear about how you channeled the messages from the angels and how the angels delivered this deck to you. Was it in meditation, or what was the process?
Okay. I'm laughing already, because the process is that, like my humor card, you need to have a sense of humor and a touch of mischief. When I sit down, for example, with Sonia to work in any project that we do, first we'll have a cup of tea or coffee, and we will laugh at whatever. And that sense of laughter is that actually raises your vibration. And then, and only then, we can actually concentrate on the project, because we are at a level of vibration that it will allow us to become channels. And as I'm channeling the information and I'm giving it to her, it's like I've got this connection, a true connection to my higher self and to source. And Sonia is truly connecting to my heart chakra and source and understanding what I'm on about. Because it's not so simple as say, okay, I'm going to write a card about courage, and this is what the card will say. It needs to be that interpretation that it comes from working directly with somebody that truly connects with you. But most importantly is to us or to me. And when I connect to the angels, is to truly have a laugh, because it opens up the channels, it opens up your breathing, you're oxygenating not only your body but your brain. And that way you are becoming a true channel for that information to come through. For me, if I got into a meditation state, yes, I can do that, but it's not going to be as fluid as if I'm actually laughing, if I'm actually breathing well. And that's what allows me to really get a true sense and to see, okay, which flowers are they going to show me, and I'm going to pick, and I'm going to be able to actually put this together. And it's a beautiful process, because nothing gets my juices going more than laughing.
Same here. And can you give the listeners some direction as to how to use these cards? So if they were to just use, say somebody came and they would like a card reading, and maybe they have a more specific question, either on purpose, love, faith, or abundance. So let's say we're choosing one of the decks. How does one begin to read for another person? Are they just choosing one card, three cards? What do you suggest?
I would say, to start with, particularly, let's say that you're not reading for somebody else. Let's say that you just bought the deck and you want to read it for yourself, yes? Firstly, like I explained on the little booklet, clear the deck, infuse them with your own energy, infuse them with your own love, look at each card attentively, and then hold the pack close to your heart chakra and just let that love flow through them. Because don't forget that the packs, when you get them, they're vacuum sealed, they've been touched by the printing company, all those sort of people, packaging and all of that. By the time that they get to you, they're infused with all this energy of work, and business, and let's get them out there. And you need to clear the deck in order to give them that sense of fluidity and love. Once you have done that, I created the cards in order for you not to go and see anybody, to use them yourself. So, for example, I would say start with a 3-card reading. And you just draw 3 cards and then put them facing down. You will see that the back of the cards have the beautiful blue star. And then the first card will actually denote to you where you are at this point in time. So if you happen to draw, for example, gratitude, it means that at this point in time, either you are being grateful or perhaps you need to concentrate on gratitude in order to start moving forward. The second card that you will draw, that will give us the kind of like the near-term future, the short-term future. What do you need to concentrate after you are grateful? What will happen? So let's say that I'm actually drawing now, and I'm just going to draw a card and to see what happens. And the card that I drew is adventure. It starts with your imagination, and we got butterflies, yellow, green, blue, flying all around. And the idea is that, is what I usually say, it starts with your imagination, because you know what? Many years ago, I created a vision board. I wanted to be working in a tropical island. I wanted to have a yacht. I wanted to be in the Atlantis Hotel in Dubai. 7 years later, all of that actually took place. So your imagination creates that adventure. It's like a child having a tea party, and it could be underneath blankets, and it could be with little teacups that are all plastic. But to them, that blanket is a castle. And those teacups are actually made of the beautiful porcelain. If you actually capture that imagination that a child has, in the future, you are sending that towards your future, and you're going to walk that pathway that your subconscious will take you in the adventure, but it will start opening up doors and aligning people, places, and situations to create what you most desire. Manifestation is all about hard work. When I ended up in the tropical island and the yacht and all of that, it just didn't land it. But because I sent that on my vision board, opportunities aligned themselves for me to be in those places and experience all of this. And if I draw a third card now, beautiful. Have a look at this third card, trust. Be as the butterflies here, connecting with one another by following their inner guidance. 2 butterflies facing one another. One is full of color. The other one has probably a little bit more pastel and gentle colors, meaning that sometimes in my long-term future, I'm going to have to trust somebody that is older, wiser, has more knowledge and skills, and it's going to show me the way. And it's going to show me how to color my own self in a way that it will be unique to me, but I will be able to trust not only the person, but also to trust that connection, that infinity symbol that is linking us, that is allowing that conversation to be fluid, because then that butterfly will fly away, and I will be able to return the favor to somebody else that is coming behind me. So that's a simple reading of 3 cards.
Okay. And would you be open to maybe asking the angels to guide you to pull one card for our listeners? I know sometimes, I of course, and I know you believe too in synchronicity and that there's no mistakes. And sometimes when people tune into podcasts, they might be in a certain state in their life where they just need to hear a message. And I thought it would be great if maybe you could pull a card from the deck with the intention for anyone that tunes into this podcast to listen to it, that the message will be for them.
Okay, one thing that I'm going to do, because that's what they're actually kind of like screaming in my ears as I was listening to you. They're saying that the first card that I'm going to pull is going to be for you. And then I will do one for the listeners. So here we go. Okay, and it's a beautiful card. And the card is the surrender card, April. And I wrote here, all you have to do is surrender to your inner love and light. So the struggles that you might be feeling internally, you actually got a lot of support. There's somebody above, there's somebody below that is actually raising you up and lifting you up. But one thing is that in your case, you're going to have to do everything that you can do in order to achieve this final goal of yours. And you can see it. It's kind of like, it's not the light at the end of the tunnel has become much bigger, but you're kind of like the end, and you can almost touch it, you can almost taste it. But you've done everything that you can to achieve that. Now it's time to let it go and let it align, because people, places, and situations will align with you, and that will be the final result, and it will all manifest. But let go, surrender, knowing that you've done everything that you can to achieve it. And you are surrounded, if you were looking at the card, there's two butterflies that are small, and then there's two big ones. The smaller, they're supporting you, and the big ones, it's going to be you and somebody else that will rise up and will be surrounded by total love, because you've got a love heart all around you. So remember that, surrender. Hopefully it resonates with you.
It does. And would you mind if I shared a little bit of how it resonates?
No, because this is personal. So share whatever you feel. Yes, please.
Okay. That it speaks very closely to me right now, because the other part of my business, I am going to be launching really new services and a new website, and I am right at the tail end of finishing that project. And there has been some fear of, will this work? So that was a beautiful message for me to hear, because, definitely need to surrender and just trust. Like you said, let go and let the process unfold. So that was really very helpful for me to hear today. Thank you so much.
And that's what they were saying to me, that the first card needed to be for you. So there you have it. So I'm glad that it resonated. Beautiful. Yes. And the project will work. And you know it in your heart, and you can see it. You can see the end. So beautiful. You received the message. Well done. Cool. Okay, now for everybody listening, and let's see what the angels will actually show us. Okay, for everybody listening, it's a beautiful, beautiful card. And the card is actually harmony. Oh. The unit with our higher self, living in harmony with our environment. There's a lot of, and this is for everybody out there in the world, there's a lot of healing taking place. Remember that I started by saying 2018 is the number 11, where we open the floodgates and we let off all the rubbish and make room for the new. There's a new dawn rising. If you were to see the card, it's a beautiful card surrounded by green energy. There's Archangel Michael coming through at the bottom with a blue light, rising people up. The new dawn is coming, and the small little butterflies, the medium butterflies, the large butterfly, and then everybody emerges as a beautiful blue butterfly. If we observe at the moment what is taking place in the world, and I'm not going to get into a political discussion because it's not who I am, but what I'm going to say, though, is that we need to pay attention to the rainbow warriors that they're rising up, and that's the new generation that is coming right behind us. And so many young people around the world are standing up, and they are voicing their opinion, and they're saying enough is enough. And you need to listen to what we're actually saying and what we're actually showing you. And this is where we are finally going to find that harmony that my generation, my parents' generation, and before were always striving to do. And these new rainbow warriors are coming fully equipped. Their souls are so in tune that they're no longer standing by because they are young and no one is going to listen to them. They are rising up. And out of that rise up, harmony will actually be born. And this is something that everybody listening, please embrace it. And embrace it in your individual little community, in your actual home. Do it in your room. Find the harmony within you. Because when we talk about source is at the center of who you are. God, if we talk about God, resides within you. So if you're harmonious within you, you're going to be harmonious with your household. You're going to be harmonious with your neighborhood, and so on and so forth. And we spread that harmony all around the world, the universe, and beyond.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you so much, Raúl, for giving our listeners that beautiful gift and the gift for me as well to surrender. And I also want to direct our listeners over to your Facebook page. You have such a fun, interactive Facebook page. I don't get a chance to always watch you when you're live, but you are so active on there, and I just love your energy. So how can people find you on Facebook and social media?
Okay, it's really simple, two ways. If you want to have a look at what I'm doing as an author, you can go to Raúl Estévez Author, or otherwise you can go directly to Raúl Angelic Messenger, and that's a main page where perhaps all of the fun happens, where I go live. I was doing the other day a live feed from the Sydney Opera House. And people were watching from different parts of the world and saying, "Oh my God, look at what's behind you!" And I said, "Yes, I know. I don't take this for granted. It's such a beautiful gift." And I was sitting because the Opera House in Sydney is at a beautiful point which is called Point Bennelong, and it has Indigenous people within Australia, Aboriginal people, has a beautiful energy where this opera house was actually where it rose up from. It has that energy of the Mayas, yeah, where they rise up with these beautiful temples. That's what the opera house energy has. And I was seated at the Botanical Gardens, which is just above the opera house, and sitting underneath this beautiful oak tree that is ancient, and you're absorbing all that energy. And I thought, I have to do a live here, and I have to show people in which environment I find myself in, which is just so beautiful. And I was using the cards, and things were flowing, and people were saying, "Oh my God, look at where you are." And yes, never take things for granted in your life. And things do happen to all of us for a reason. So yeah, go to my two Facebook pages, Raúl Angelic Messenger or Raúl Estévez Author, and feel free to connect with me on Messenger. I may not answer straight away because I'm usually rather busy, but when I get a chance, I go in and I answer all the messages, and it's been wonderful, the support that I've been receiving worldwide. People from somebody that I met online, Irina from Slovenia, and she was saying to me, "Oh, your cards are beautiful, and I got your books." And she said, "And you know what? You're always talking about love. And Slovenia is the only country in the world that in its name carries the word love." Which I thought that it was just beautiful, because if you have a look at the way that Slovenia is actually spelled, love is in the middle.
Wow, that's so cool.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Well, Raúl, it is always such a pleasure to have you on the podcast. I just love your energy. It's always so uplifting. And again, for our listeners who would like to learn more about Raúl, we did go more in depth in episode 108, where you can learn a lot more about Raúl's history, how he came to be connected with the angels and his story. And we had that podcast is a little bit longer. But again, I really encourage everybody to check out this new deck, and may all of our listeners be blessed with harmony after listening to this podcast. And Raúl, please keep in touch with us, and we would always love to have you back on with whatever new adventures you have going on, and much luck to you with the new beautiful deck.
Thank you so much, April. And our new adventure is already underway, and it's going to be a gorgeous children's book called Why Do Doggies Sniff Their Tails When They Meet? And it's a gorgeous story that was actually told to me by my late grandmother. And she's actually featured in the book, and the book is dedicated to her. And it's going to be an amazing story set in a gorgeous Doggyville, but I will not give much more, because there will be many surprises on that book. There will be many activities for the young and the young at heart to actually purchase as well.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, then I guess we will be talking soon.
We will be talking about in a year's time.
A year's time. Okay, 2019. That
correct,
sounds
because
good to me.
Sonia and I, it takes us a while to laugh and then to produce.
All right. Well, you're always welcome back on this show, and we will be looking forward to that book.
Thank you so much, April, and many blessings to you, to your new venture, and to everybody out there. Lots of love and harmony.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for listening. I hope you enjoyed that podcast. And just one last announcement. I just wanted to let you guys know that we are moving our 2-Minute Tuesday over to our Patreon account. And if you guys haven't checked that out yet, go to path11podcast.com and click on the orange button that says Patreon. And you can go ahead and donate to help keep our podcast free. And you can donate any donation that you like, a one-time donation in certain amounts. And we give some stuff away for free. So check that out.